Hardaway McGee. What a game. First Laker with at least 30 points, 50 rebounds, and 5 blocks since Shaq from 2004. That's how dominant this game has been.
Well then, let's let them go on an 11-2 run to finish the game, right, bruh? It's official. We be eliminated, and now we can officially look forward to the summer, the draft, a whole variety of things. I'm Charles Ryan, KB24 status, Kobe24 MP3, Chucky Atkins, Chuckmeister, or, as self-coined, the biggest Laker fan in the world. And welcome to another episode of Lakeshow's finest Redux. We are going hard. I posted about 25 episodes since, I don't know, February, late January. So, trying to stay consistent. I will acknowledge I did not post a podcast after the last game against the Bucks, I believe, and I was pissed off. But yeah, once again, I post a podcast after every game, but on the weekends I usually don't, and today's Saturday, so I'm making an exception right now. I posted 2 podcasts last weekend, the Knicks game and the Pistons game, so I went really hard on that one. So you might have to cut me some slack on that Bucks one, you know? A lot of previous engagements right now, lots of things I need to focus on, but you guys come first, and there's a rare occasion where you guys might come second. But I told you, and I'll say it again, my loyalty never wavers, okay? So, unfortunately, we lost 111 to 106 to the Brooklyn Nets. I don't understand how. Maybe I'm an idiot, but why didn't Alan Crabb play? I thought he was healthy, but looks like it didn't matter because they kicked our ass towards the end. As you can see prior to this on one of the opening montage pictures, whatever, there's a picture of Kevin Hart, and the first and second quarter is Kevin Hart, like smiling, saying the Lakers in the first and second quarter are looking good, and then the third quarter Kevin Hart has an expression of like uh-oh, and then the fourth quarter Kevin Hart has an expression of oh, come on now. So I don't know, maybe I didn't explain that well, but you'll know what it is. You saw it. But yeah, we let them go on like an 11-2 run, I think, at the end. So good job by us. But I mean, you got to give LeBron credit. He played 36 minutes. I hear in the media all these. First of all, I don't really focus on the media or listen to anything, not even ESPN or Bleacher Report. But this one dude, I don't even know who said it, but this one guy was like, LeBron doesn't even care anymore. It's like, that's so not true. The past few games he's had triple-doubles, been really putting it out. LeBron did not have to play 36 minutes tonight. They could be sitting him they might sit him for the rest of the season now because they're officially out. But I doubt it because LeBron he's a gym rat. He just loves playing basketball. You think for the next 5 months he's going to just, well, he's going to do his, his movies and his TV shows and his, The Shop on HBO and all these things. But this dude loves basketball. He's not going to say no to playing basketball. So the Lakers were close in this game, obviously, in the fourth quarter, so they decided to keep LeBron in. But he played well. I mean, he shot 1 for 7 from 3. He did have 8 turnovers. Okay, you know what? That was an over-exaggeration. I was trying to say he put in 36 minutes. He did not play that well this game. He still had 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 14 assists, but the 8 turnovers were crazy. A couple games ago, he had 2 turnovers in 36 minutes, and that's a good ratio, but tonight he seemed a little bit lazy. And in the final, I don't know, 30 seconds when he slipped going around the corner, I flipped out. I thought it was done. I thought it'd be out for the rest of the season, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play next game, and the excuse is, knee. But, thank God he came back in the final play and put up a 3. But, he was 1 for 7 on threes for 14%. 8 for 12 on free throws, baby. We've been going. Somehow, we shot 23 for 32 for 72%. Once again, that is fantastic. We are amazing. JaVale shot 3 for 7, but besides that, everybody was golden. Contavious 4 for 4. Caruso 2 for 2. Kuz 5 for 5. And Tyson was 1 for 2, but I haven't seen Tyson in 3 months. Where has he been, bro? So, yeah, I mean, for some reason, the Nets and the Lakers shot terribly from the field. They shot 40%. We shot 38%. It's almost like we play down or up to our opponent and just want to hang around with them and not do anything, but it is what it is. We were 9 for 36 for 3 for 25%, while the Nets were 16 for 42 for 38%. Towards the end of the game, they really started making threes. D'Angelo had 2 nice payback FU threes, and I think DeMar Carroll had a 3 at the end too. So it was 3 consecutive threes, which really put the game away for them. Or, we had a chance to tie it up, but whatever. It's all good. So I want to talk about a little bit more about this game, but also the draft and how we have an opportunity here to just straight up tank these final, let's see how many games we have left. We're 31 and 41, so we have exactly 10 games left. We have an opportunity to just lose all 10 games. I mean, we're 1-9 in the last 10. 2 other teams are 1-9 in the last 10, the Mavericks and the Knicks. And the Knicks are going for Zion. They really are. But if we lose 10 games in a row, of course, the whole narrative will be blah, blah, blah. LeBron doesn't care towards the end. Lakers just want to pick. But who gives a fuck about what the media says? Who cares? LeBron does care about his legacy. But for the millionth time, LeBron brought up the injuries last night in his postgame, which I thought was hilarious because he's going to keep hammering that home every time so people understand what happened in this year, which will be an anomaly because he hasn't missed the playoffs since 2005, so almost 15 years. But, so, I'm going to touch a little bit, I'll jump back into the tanking thing for the draft, but let me touch a few more minutes on the Nets-Lakers game. Kuz played well. He had 18... he didn't play well, sorry. Kuz was really assertive, and he tried to do things that I don't even understand. He was 5 for 19, but the shots he was getting were good looks, and the 5 for 5 free throws is great. He had 0 assists when, if you guys remember last week, earlier this week and last week, he was getting 10, 8, 11 assists. So, I don't know. I guess he's reverting back, or maybe he's just coasting because it's the final stretch of the season. He had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 0 assists, and 2 turnovers, and 1 block in 34 minutes. And, of course, how can I look over JaVale, who had the best game of his career despite the loss? 33 points, 75% shooting, 15 for 20 from the field, 3 for 7 on free throws, 20 big rebounds, 12 offensive rebounds, 8 defensive rebounds, with 6 blocks, 1 steal, 3 turnovers in 34 minutes for a big man is a pretty good ratio. That's, 11 minutes. That's a quarter per turnover. That's good. And then he had 5 fouls. But, I don't know if this is an anomaly, but I think we have to seriously talk about, should we give JaVale a huge contract of, not to eat into our salary to pay Anthony Davis, but should we give him a, 4-year, $30 million? Or does he take that, right? He's 31 years old, so I think he'd take that. Or maybe a 3-year, $20 million, in the third year have a team option. Because, unfortunately, Luol Deng's stretch, because we stretched Luol Deng, he has about $5 million counted against our cap, and we could have really used that for someone like JaVale. But fuck Luol Deng. That's an interesting question, because whenever JaVale's not lazy and not checked out, he tends to play really well. And it's just as simple as LeBron driving or Caruso driving or Rondo driving and just finding JaVale for a lob or just a dish and just bringing out the big man, bringing out Jared Allen, and then you have JaVale 7 feet with his hands up in the air, which are going 11 feet high, So, great game, career high. I mean, I love the 3 for 7 from the free throw line. I know the percentage sucks, but he got 7 free throws, and he usually doesn't get that many free throws, at least in my mind. I don't remember him that often getting 7 free throws. I thought it was funny seeing Tyson, just barely play, get in just for fun, for shits and giggles, but yeah, JaVale is awesome, 15 for 20. I mean, I remember the beginning of the season when he averaged, I think, the first or the second most blocks in the league, in the first, 2 months. And, people were saying, is he defensive player of the year or maybe most improved player? Because I would argue he's, top 5 and most improved. I mean, he really has come out of nowhere because he's never averaged these amount of minutes. I mean, the Warriors weren't playing 34 minutes in most games last year, right? I mean, of course not. So, when he gets his opportunities, he's looking good. I mean, he's super athletic. I mean, he's older, 31, but the way that he, the way that he's been utilized in his career is young legs, because I think he has asthma, or he has something where he can't go long stretches, and he, it's like Tyson. The last few years, Tyson was on the Suns, right? So he didn't get a lot of minutes, right? So that Tyson's 36 years old, but he's a young 36 because he doesn't have a lot of miles on him, right? Same thing with JaVale. I know JaVale is 31, but still, he's fresh. Even though he went to the championship 2 years in a row with the Warriors, he was averaging, 15 to 20 minutes per game or whatever it was in the playoffs. But let's just go over JaVale's per 36 numbers right now, okay? This season. His per 36. 19 points, 19 points, 3.2 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist, 11.7 rebounds, 4.2 offensive rebounds, 7.6 defensive rebounds, shooting 64% from the free throw line, which is obviously not great, but his attempts per 36 is 3 attempts. So 2 makes, 3 attempts, essentially. 2.1 attempts, 3.3 makes. No, I'm sorry, other way around. 3.3 attempts, 2.1 makes. His field goal percentage on the interior, his overall field goal percentage is 62% in this per 36, but on the interior, on the inside, 2-point percentage is 68%. 62.5, 63%. On his 2-pointers, he's averaging per 36. Once again, sorry, I'll stop saying that. But 8.4 makes per 13.5 attempts. That's a huge mark. Almost 14 attempts per 36. I mean, in a half, like, probably 3/4 of those is just Rondo and LeBron finding him running down the court / dishing him off down the lane and shit. But this year, he's played 65 games. And that's a big deal. Because most years... Because here's the thing. Last year with the Warriors, he played a total of 65 games. But he only started 17. Right now, he's played 65 games of the 72 total games. Because remember, he had pneumonia. And he started 52. When he's with the Warriors 3 years ago, in his first championship with the Warriors, 2016-2017, he played 77 games. However, he only started 10. Right? His total minutes played this season is 1,403 minutes. That championship year, 2 years ago, 77 games played, was 739. So he's played almost double the amount of minutes. Last year, 65 games, 615 minutes with the Warriors. Over double. So this guy is getting more opportunities, his 36 going up, and let's just see, this is a huge question mark. Are we going to re-sign JaVale and Tyson and get a third center like Zubats-esque, who can complement and be that second to third guy? Because I think Tyson's more of a locker room guy, but I think Tyson is good to play 10 to 15 minutes per night. He's had back issues, but like I said, he's young legs. But if JaVale could play 25 to 30 minutes per night, that'd be incredible. And re-sign him to, like I said, 3 or 4 years, whatever. So, yeah. I mean, I'm loving the guy. Once again, I'll read his splits real fast. 19 points per 36. 4 fouls per 36. 2.3 blocks per 36. 2 turnovers per 36. 1 steal. 9.5. 11 rebounds. 7.6 defense rebounds. 4.2 offensive rebounds. 64% from the free throw line. 2 attempts made from the free throw line. Two free throws made. 3.3 attempts. Got tongue twisters here. But the big one is, the 19 points per game, shooting 13 shots attempted, and playing 1,403 minutes. And once again, to put it in perspective, this is a great thing, a great stat that I just found. He played 1,354 minutes over the span of 142 games with the Golden State Warriors in 2 seasons. That is less than this year at 1,403 for 65 games. That is incredible. The fact that he's been able to keep up that you're getting double the minutes. The fact that he's not gassed most of the time. When he is, he lets the coaching staff know. That's amazing that he's able to take on that huge responsibility of being asked to do literally more than double of what you've done in the last 2 years. That's awesome. So you got to give him credit. Yeah. So let's talk about tanking real fast, just for a couple minutes. Right now we have the 10th worst record in the league at 31-41. And the 6th worst record in the league is the Mavericks, who have their pick to the Hawks because the Trae Young, Luka Doncic trade, and they're at 28-44, right? So we're 3 games back. It's so funny. They're 3 games back of being the 6th worst seed. So that's real. And then when you're if they could get that, because here's putting it better. So the Lakers are 31-41 at the 10th worst. The 9th worst are the Pelicans at 31-43. The Wizards are the 8th worst at 30-43. Grizzlies 7th worst at 29 and 43. So that's really tight right there. If they can get to the 7th, and in a perfect world, maybe the 6th, because the 5th worst is the Hawks at 25 and 48, and they're not going to quote-unquote catch up to their shitty record. But right now they're 1-9 in their last 10, which ties two other teams, like I said, for the worst 10. But if they get to that 6th seed, they have a 9% chance to get the number 1 overall pick and a 37% chance, over a third chance to get into the top 4. That's crazy. Because I don't know if you guys know, or maybe some of you don't, they changed the lottery system where instead of the top 3 teams, instead of the number 1 worst team getting a 25% chance in the number 1, now the top 3 teams have an equal chance of 14% chance to get the number 1. So right now the Knicks have 14% chance of getting the number 1, Phoenix 14, and Cleveland 14. And they all have the same amount of chance of getting in the top 4, which is over 50, which is 52%. So I don't care what people say. I don't care if it's frowned upon LeBron saying his first season with the Lakers is a disaster, because it really wasn't. I watched every single game. You can't talk to people in the media who only watched a handful of games, who only watched the nationally televised games. I watched every single game, every single post game, every single comment from LeBron James at the end of every game. I watched every preseason game. This has not been a disaster season. Because you can't make excuses like the injuries, but if you lose 10 straight, it's a silver lining to be the 6th worst seed and get a higher pick. Because you could flip that pick. You could flip that pick in a trade. Hypothetically, if we were to sign Kyrie and we want to trade for AD, you could trade that number 6 pick, 5, whatever pick, along with Lonzo and maybe Josh Hart for AD. Done. How could they not take that trade? Because I'll tell you what, Anthony Davis, after the summer, only has until February to be moved. And nobody's going to give them anything besides the Lakers. No one. So, looks like they're going to either have to let Anthony Davis walk or take on pieces. And I don't think the Celtics are going to give up Jason Tatum for a guy to rent him for a year or 3 months in February, because his father has made it clear he doesn't want to be in Boston. Of course, AD signed with Clutch, so it makes no sense. We're the only option. We're getting AD regardless, and I would do it if we get this high pick, but we'll see what happens. All right, I'm Chuck, Charles Ryan. Yours truly, KB24 status. And like I said, I'm going to keep grinding these next 10 games. So a few of the games, I'm going to do like an evaluation of each player, in my opinion, what they need to work on. Because, of course, they know better. Luke and the coaching staff knows better what they need to work on than I do. But just my opinion as an observant from afar and who's watched every single minute of every game. Like, Lonzo has to work on not getting fucking hurt. All right. I'm Charles Ryan. Take care. Have a good weekend. And let's fucking lose these final 10 games.